everyone, it's a brand new See You podcast.
Oh, wait.
For Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. That's Ian Ferguson. I'm Pat Contry. We got a show today for you. It's going to be semi-entertaining. We'll be talking about what I did at Comic-Con. We'll be talking about the N64 module announced for Polymega. Atari to buy MobyGames, which is interesting. You want to put that in the intro, you said, right? You want to swap that
Yeah,
one?
I feel like we don't really need to make that a full topic.
And then WADA released its first population report, so we'll have an update on that. And Q&A. So, Ian, we went over Thanksgiving on the exclusive podcast. What did you do else this weekend?
I did something weird last night.
Some weird, wacky stuff?
Played Halo Infinite.
You're into Halo?
Not really.
Shocking.
The only Halo I've ever really played was... So, I have a weird history with Halo. When it came out and everyone loved it, I was still like, it's on consoles.
Did you date for a few months?
Yeah,
weird breakup? You have a history?
We had a weird...
You had a tryst?
We had a weird relationship. So, I was still like, console first-person shooters. I don't want to deal with this. I don't like it. PC.
PC snob.
Yep.
Yeah.
And... I never owned an Xbox, so I never really played it. I ended up getting part 3 when I had a 360. And
360!
Enjoyed playing online. But I was miserable at it. But what I liked about it was just that I didn't really care about the campaign, but I liked that the online, they know that they have a huge online player base, and more so than really any other online shooter I've seen, really gives you the nuts and bolts options to make custom games and stuff like that.
Okay.
More so than I feel like something like Call of Duty does.
Call of Duty does give you a lot of in-game options.
In terms of limiting your weapons and things like that. And granted, my my interaction with Call of Duty is fairly old at this point too. We're talking Call of Duty 4.
Okay. Part
number 4 was the last one I played. But Halo Infinite came out and it's free. The online multiplayer is 100% free. They will charge for the campaign mode when that comes out, which I think is early December. But all of the online is free, which is huge. It's not even like just Call of Duty does where they give you the Battle Royale mode. Halo gives you everything. It's all there. You can do like the season pass stuff if you want to like get costumes and whatever. But what they give you for no money seems extremely full featured. I think that's kind of like my big takeaway from it. It's just how nice it is. Like, it's just a quality experience in a world where we constantly get like these shitty half-baked releases. Mm-hmm. I mean, I guess you could say this is because it was originally supposed to launch with the campaign, but like everything just feels right in this. It's easy to maneuver. It's easy to get in and out of games. I really like the feel of it. It just feels like a professionally done product, which I guess in this day and age is getting when you have stuff like the Grand Theft Auto trilogy coming out.
Sure.
and Cyberpunk. It's interesting to see something that launched and hasn't had a whole lot of issues since launch. I think they realized that they really needed to make a good impression with this, though.
Well,
it's their flagship franchise.
Yeah, it's their flagship thing, Microsoft, so it makes sense.
But yeah, no, that was fun. And I played for a bit. I'm not good. Best kill death ratio was 4 to 12. So real bad.
3 to 1. But opposite, 1 to 3.
Yeah, 1 to 3.
Killed to death.
Yeah, 1 kill for every.
You want it to be at least 1 to 1.
I know, that's what you're aiming for.
You're aiming for that's probably the average, I would guess, 1 to 1.
That's what you want. So yeah, how about you?
I went to Comic-Con.
Yeah, so did Vonnie.
And I totally forgot there was Comic-Con until like Thanksgiving night. I'm like, I think there's Comic-Con this weekend. I think there's Comic-Con. And there was this, we call it the special edition, only 3 days. I went there Saturday at 2:30 and I left at 5:30, 3 hours. You honestly could have walked through everything in about 2 to 2.5 at a leisurely pace. Still a big convention.
Right.
Halls B through E was the size of this. That's about 60% of the size it usually is, roughly. And that doesn't include the fact that the rows were a lot less condensed.
Sure.
So when you factor that in, it was probably less than half of what it usually is. I went there, it's a smaller convention when you can take your Lyft or Uber up to the convention center. Not usually stopped at the Cheesecake Factory.
Yeah.
A half mile away, you get to the convention center. And I was like, wow, okay, then obviously you have the barrier there. But like, it was interesting because like people were cosplaying, but not as much. People were walking around, and it's like, this is still a sizable convention, but you know it's different. You know this is smaller. You're not bumping into people constantly walking around, for example, things like that. You had to walk all the way to freaking at the end at Hall H in order to you had to show your vaccination card or proof of test within negative test within 72 hours, one or the other. You got a wristband. You walked in. It was funny. Like the huge ass Hall H was used. Hall H and F.
That's literally what everyone who I've talked to has said, that it was just weird to see Hall H reduced to like badging and ticketing.
But it was gigantic.
Right.
There was no one there. Like I had to walk. It's like follow the blue line. It was Hall. I think G and H they used for it. It was a gigantic space with like 100 people in this like gigantic, like not even 100 people. Followed the blue line. It took like 3 minutes to walk the blue line to get to the like where you pick up your professional pass, and I did it. And then you got your hand sanitizer, which is a nice little spray thing. You got they still printed the book. You got a bag, and you walked. It was weird. You walked from Hall H into the end at the Artist Alley. That's how you got in this year. And I liked the fact that it was smaller. I talked to someone who said this is how Comic-Con was 20 years ago.
That's what Vani said. Vani said she had a lot of fun because it reminded her of when she started going in the late 90s, and like you literally walked up, bought your ticket, and wrote your name on the badge.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny because that kind of things like, oh, you can write your name on the badge. I did it this year. So you can get a Sharpie and do it. I didn't do that. Some people did. I was like, oh, this is like a throwback.
No, Vani did, and she like it tickled her pink. She was so happy about that.
It wasn't like in past years, they're like chipped, encoded like cards you can't counterfeit. Like these are just plastic,
right.
Just go. Like they don't care. So I like talking to some of the artists and looking at the pins and things like enamel pins was the thing this year. Like everyone had the enamel pins. There might be an enamel pin bubble burst at some point, but like everyone had pins. So they're cute and they're cheap. You had like 3 or 4 enamel pin vendors that just had. I mean,
I definitely don't have 3 cork boards full of them.
Maybe thousands of different enamel pins. You didn't have a lot of big corporate ones. The only one that was kind of corporate that was big was my friend Pearl from Namco Bandai. They had a Pac-Man booth.
Yep, the Pac-Man booth was. Vani said she loved it.
That seemed like the normal booth.
She brought me back the exclusive like Nano Blocks Pac-Man set.
I don't know why I didn't buy that.
The translucent one.
I looked at it in the case. Like that looks pretty cool. You can make a little.
You make the little arcade machine. You can make a little Pac-Man, the 2 ghosts and a cherry. I mean, that's getting a full release, but the convention exclusive was the translucent one.
All right. Well, Pearl, I got to maybe hit her up for that. But anyway, but it was great. Pearl recognized me with my hair. I was like, let's see if Pearl hears. They had some younger women demoing the new Pac-Man. What's the Pac-Man game that came out? We talked about the collection one that came out. So they were demoing that. I was like, "Where's Pearl? Pearl's always here." She looked at me like with her big eyes. She's like, and I was like, "That's Pearl. I haven't seen Pearl in person in like at least a few years." And we talked for like 15, 20 minutes. She's doing great.
Good.
She's got a kid's like 7. I'm like, I said, like, it's not a baby. I'm like, you just have your kids? She's like, no, the kid's like 7. I'm like, what? We reminisced. We talked about a mutual friend. I won't get into right now. That we both had history with, and then that was really the only booth that like was like this is like a regular booth. Diamond Distributors wasn't there. Mile High wasn't there. Funko Pop was there. They were in Hall A. They were all of Hall A.
Mile High wasn't at the last one either.
Oh, they weren't?
Mile High fell out with them and they're gone.
Oh, there was only one of these silver/gold age vendor that I recognized by name. I saw the name like, okay, I recognize that one. That was it. There was only the one major one. There were quarter booths that were unoccupied or missing. Like they had the name of the exhibitor up. They weren't there. There were tables with vendors out there. I could have set up books at someone. There was, I mean, a few dozen empty tables or quarter booths there. I was like shocked. They're probably like, you know what? I don't want to do it anymore. But vendors are saying they were selling because there was less vendors, so more people were spending money. I wanted to buy, someone had a crocheted Loki alligator from the show, and they were sold out. I said, my friend is a Loki. I want that. Like, it's sold out. I said, I got their card. I'll order it. They had a giant one, though. They had a big one for $150. I said, yeah. I said, where's that? Like the little one. They're like, they're sold out. I'm like, fuck. So I bought things for friends there. I didn't buy anything for myself. I met a local children's author. She was very nice. She got her books printed in San Diego. And I think she said she might get a deal going. So I met a couple of authors. I got recognized by an author, another children's author, recognized my hair, tracked me down. I talked to him, a super nice guy. So yeah, it was fun. It was fun. It felt weird though, Ian. It was subdued. It felt like a pandemic. It felt like this is the Comic-Con you'd have if like 40% of the world passed away. Like if it felt like that. Like, wow, we're still here, but it's not what it was.
Right.
So hopefully by next, I don't know about this Omicron fucking variant going to ruin things, but hopefully by next summer it's back to normal. But who knows? We may not have normal for a few years. South Park's new special is the post-COVID special where, you know, Stan and Kyle are like 40. So like that's, it's like they're older. They're, you know, that's, so we'll see. We'll see, Ian.
We will. What else we got going on here? Fan group reversing engineers Ocarina of Time code.
Yeah, go for it, Ian.
I can't say anything. So Zelda 64 has been fully decompiled, potentially. I meant like I'm stumbling over my words. Opening the door for mods and ports. That's what VGC says. So what this means is like basically, you know how there's that PC version of a few years ago of Mario 64.
Was that through the Giga leak? Was that part of the Giga leak? They found the code?
I have no idea.
Okay.
So this will be interesting. This means that anyone who has got this source code who puts the work in can conceivably do a PC port like that and get it playing in, you know, very high resolution. They can do all of that, you know, modern upscaling and whatnot to it. So would be interesting to see. Maybe it'll be the version I play, the one that's not officially by Nintendo.
This says this kind of reverse engineering is legal because the fans involved did not use any leaked content. Oh, okay.
They did not use what?
They did not use any leaked content. They just reverse engineered it into parsable C code. Wow.
Oh, wow.
That sounds like a nice time doing that. My God, 2 years. A team effort, 2 years. That's cool, though.
Yeah. They didn't think they'd be able to match every function completely, but they did. They said dozens of people helped on the project.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least Nintendo's not going to hopefully do anything. Knock on wood, it's out there though. So that's fantastic. Now you're gonna see like a PC version. You'll see the 4K version.
So yeah, they're hoping that they said they're working on the Master Quest debug version. So that would be interesting too.
What's interesting is that AMC is going to ruin my Spider-Man No Way Home experience by offering NFTs to people who pre-order tickets with Sony. So Sony is partnering here. So I don't know what the fuck they're thinking. So they're going to have 86,000 NFTs, non-fungible tokens to members of its AMC Stubs Premier, AMC Stubs A-List, and AMC Investor Connect who order tickets for No Way Home. Can we fucking stop with this? Can we stop with the NFTs? I read an article the other day about how the values plummeted on it over crashed on everything but like the top 1% or whatever NFTs. Like it's done. It's fucking done.
I did something last night. I could not sleep. I did something that I did not need to do. I did not need to rile myself up. And I started doom scrolling NFT shit on Twitter. And it's just a really, man, I don't mean to sound mean. It's just a really sad scene. And like, there's people who are talking about blue chip NFTs and diamond level NFTs and gold chip NFTs. And
like fucking stocks.
Yeah, this has been around for like 6 months, and people just these guys got into it, and they immediately threw all this like fucking false importance on it too. Like they want to play with the big boys. They want to think they're the big boys.
They want to turn it into like crypto. They want to turn it into like, this is something everyone's going to get into. And it's like, yeah, you tried for a few months. Remember I told you the NBA fucking show early in the year was pushing their NFTs. I couldn't believe it on ESPN.
I think they still have them, but they're not advertising them
They are advertising. I was like, what the fuck are they doing? They're advertising, oh, this is going to go up. They got an NBA player, you know, I don't call him a bench warmer, but I never heard him. But he's like, yeah, I got this one, and this one's worth 5,000. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? This is going to crash. But I said within like end of the summer, and it happened like in 2 months. It happened in like 2 months. Okay, it's done already.
It's fucking trading cards for people with too much time on their hands.
But it's non-physical.
I know. I know.
So yeah, people are just trying to justify, oh, this is a blue chipper.
It's insane.
Fuck off with the NFTs is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Please.
We're already dealing with the crypto shit. NFTs is a bridge too far for even anything. A lot of people are like, okay, well, crypto is weird, but all right, at least it's a fucking thing that holds value. NFT holds my junk.
You can get NFTs at ultimatenintendo.com. New fun times. That's what they are. Get yourself some new fun times at ultimatenintendo.com.
What do I got there, Ian?
Oh, books, stickers, so many stickers.
Enamel pins.
Do I
have a sale going on right now?
I believe you have a Cyber Week sale happening.
It's not a week, Ian. It ends December 1st. Use code Turkey Hangover, which I did have. Turkey Hangover will save you 15% off everything on the site. The not for resale Blu-ray, the Video Game Years DVDs, the T-shirts, everything. 15% off with Turkey Hangover until December 1st.
Why, sir, that's tomorrow. So for those of you at home listening,
well, that's why
you just got a few scant minutes to get your deals.
You got 36 hours. You can do it. And this is why you got to follow me on Twitter at Pat the NES Punk. I'm also going to be on Twitch Wednesday night, twitch.tv/CountryCode, and on Cameo, cameo.com/PatCountry. And I'm going to be in Sacramento, Spider-Man No Way Home weekend, the 18th and 19th at the Sac Gamers Expo. Come out and see me.
Yeah. Go see Patty.
You want to talk about that McDonald's DSi resurfacing?
So an extremely rare McDonald's DSi was...
Why is this highlighted?
Was found again. So...
Now you're loud again. I keep trying to modulate you. Go ahead.
I don't know what you're doing. Okay.
Because you're yelling now again.
Yes. Well, I mean, I'm an excitable guy. There's a McDonald's DS that was released in Japan. It has the McDonald's. It's a black DS with it's like a matte DSi with like a shiny McDonald's
logo
arch on it, and the
cholesterol arches.
And it was used for training purposes. That's all I really know about it. But I think there's only 5 of them known to be in existence. And then there's I know there's at least 2 programs.
There's 3 according to this.
Oh, okay.
Is there 3? Yeah, there's 3. No, there's 2. Smart 2.0 and the ECDP. So these were used in Japan to train?
Yeah.
It looks like.
They're interactive guides on how to be the ultimate McDonald's employee. This is coming from the Retro Dodo article. They covered everything from how to cook the food on the menu to how to serve the items to the customers.
That's great.
And you would make the food virtually and show it to someone. So I actually have a rough idea as to what this is probably like. If you've ever worked at a chain restaurant, they have these tests that they don't really actually give. I mean, they give to people they think need them, but they'll show you a plate of food. They'll show you a menu, and they'll show you how this food comes out, and you'll read something, and then they'll give you a plate, and they'll give you literally little magnets or color forms, and you've got to put the plate of food together.
So you're not using real food, you're practicing though.
But you're showing them how you would plate the food, because especially at chain restaurants, they have to hammer into you do it the same way every time with no variance.
It has to be uniform to the
that's what you're looking for when you're doing a chain, when you're going to a chain restaurant.
Big fan of plating.
So I feel like this is probably a similar thing, only it probably uses the DS touchscreen. You're probably dragging and dropping items to make burgers and then show to the person who's going to hire you.
Burgers.
So they never meant to leave McDonald's stores. Some did. Very expensive. Yeah, here it says again, it's only 5 are doing the rounds on the internet, so 5 have been discovered. I would expect that there's more, but probably not a lot more.
I mean, you have to. You probably have the store manager would have them. And what would they do with them? Would they throw them out or give them back to the McDonald's corporate? Who would own them?
Return them, and I guarantee you, not every McDonald's got one of these. That's.
I mean, how many in Japan would use it? How many McDonald's were in Japan 15 years ago? Whenever was it DSi?
Yeah, probably a lot.
I don't know. I don't know.
But who knows? So I think it's interesting. And I mean, the DSi is, neat because it's weirdly branded, but it's kind of boring looking. It's just matte black and shiny and glossy black. But I would like to mess with those programs.
How many McDonald's are in Japan? 3,700?
Yeah.
Holy shit. I guess the cities, they're not going to find them in the countryside probably. 37. I would not have guessed that many. I would have said maybe 500.
My understanding is McDonald's is everywhere.
That's the big thing.
It's
3,700. We're ruining Japan too with their awful food. But it's probably better quality there. I have to imagine it's fucking better quality.
It's a different menu, slightly.
Yeah,
there's different things. I don't know if it's better quality. It's McDonald's.
It has to be. It's sourced differently. It's better. They don't have the pink. They don't have the pink slime burger in Japan. They wouldn't get away with that.
Yes, I think they would.
Really? You think there's a higher quality of food standards in Japan versus here for what they can get away with? We're on the bottom of the fucking totem pole when it comes to
fast food. That's what people want.
No. That's not true, Ian. When I went to Norway, it was a different experience. It's like they treat fast food differently. It's more expensive.
Sure, you can treat it that way if it's your own chain, but if it's a national, worldwide chain, it's going to be pretty much the same everywhere.
I'm talking about McDonald's. It's different. The food's sourced locally wherever you are. Norway doesn't have pink slime burgers. It's probably better quality.
All right. I feel like that's wishful thinking.
They're not putting all the pink slime burgers from the U.S. on a cargo ship and going to Zimbabwe with them.
All right.
You think they're doing that?
They must magically have high-quality burgers at the McDonald's in Japan.
I'm saying the quality's going to be different because they probably have cows there that are like traditional burgers. All right, we're going to get off this topic. Let's get into a fucking McDonald's argument with you. I thought you were just going to agree with me. I think you're contrarian on purpose. It's a fucking
No, I don't think McDonald's is magically better anywhere else.
You think that the McDonald's burgers are the same in San Diego as in Moscow, as in Tokyo? They're exactly the same.
Comparably similar.
Well, I think you're crazy. I think you're crazy, Ian.
I think I love you.
What am I so afraid of? This might end the podcast, this argument. This is going to do it.
Pat, tell me about MobyGames and Atari.
Atari SA out in France, the husk of a shell of what was Atari, Atari games and Atari in the 70s and 80s. They are going to buy the massive game database MobyGames, probably the most famous game database out there. Very thorough. Obviously, we've used it to double check things for the certain guidebooks. There's screenshots there. You get dev information. What's interesting about MobyGames is cross-referencing. So you click on this company, you'll see, this is what they worked on. So it's very user-friendly MobyGames. It's very user-friendly.
Sure.
So when it was announced that Atari's gonna fucking buy it, that's like the biggest alarm bells that can go off or something like this, because there's no reason on the surface why Atari would want to buy a game database site. And it's scary to think about what they would want to do with it. It's almost like they want to do something and pivot their business. Obviously, they have these Atari kart games coming out. That was a minor debacle in terms of marketing them. But yeah, it has, and it doesn't have everything. I found some games that aren't on there, but I mean, it's as complete you're going to get for a game database. 300,000 unique titles.
Yeah, this is kind of the 3,000. That's it.
300,000.
Okay, I thought you said 3. I was like
300.
What happened? That's like PS2 and maybe the Wii.
Yeah.
This is the problem with having one of these databases that's corporately owned. It can be sold off, and
willy-nilly.
It's been in bad financial shape, I guess, for the past few years. I haven't paid very much attention to it, but MobyGames is something that I'm looking at least a few times a month, just by the nature of what I do. Something is going to be linked to MobyGames that I want to check out or look at. And I feel bad for all the volunteers who have put their time and effort into it. Makes you think about compensation, or at least who you volunteer your time to, and being, I think, a bit more careful about that.
Well, yeah, because a lot of it's volunteer work.
No, it's from what I read, it's pretty much entirely volunteer work.
So this is why this is scary, because we just saw this happen with Go, the owner of Go Collect. One of the guys that was buddy and involved with WADA. He buys Nintendo Age. That was like 3 years ago at this point.
Right.
He buys Nintendo Age. I'm going to keep the forum open. He bought the database. That was a big thing about the database on Nintendo Age. It had most of the Nintendo consoles, if not all of them. It also had Sega Age and PlayStation Age, which weren't as big as Nintendo Age, but you had one of the earlier databases, and there was, cart scans, manual scans on there.
It's like the first place I remember going for manual scans and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens? This piece of work buys it, says he's going to keep it open, lies, shuts it down, and then basically, because information is information is valuable. It's knowledge and it's valuable. All that information can be very useful on the forums. All the discussion about things are going back 15 years, and then all the photos, all the information, all the that's valuable information.
Right.
And then shutting it off from the rest of the world, just like that. That's what I'm afraid would happen here. My only thought is, how the guy. Why he did it, because he's into buying and selling these games and runs an auction site, but or part of it. But why is Atari getting into this business?
Yeah, I have no idea. I can't think of anything. I mean, on one hand, they've just been absolutely fucking chaotic. Like, if you want to go by D&D alignment, they are chaotic neutral. Like, they are just they're They just do shit. Fucking hotels. Let's start a cryptocurrency. Make the hats.
They did the NFT speaker hats. The watch that didn't come out. I mean, they didn't make these themselves.
Oh, they did. Yeah, they did the NFTs.
They were licensing these products, but like the watch never came out. Whoever they licensed that.
I mean, it's manic. It's crazy. It's
these remastered games will look good. This Asteroids one coming out looks fancy. I don't know if
I was looking into the dev a little bit. I've been actually looking into those a lot for various reasons, and
that should be their business.
Yes,
remaking the classics, high quality.
I think the Asteroids one looks probably the best of the three that have come out so far.
But that's what they should be doing.
Yeah,
remake Centipede. Go for it. Remake some of your IPs.
Is that Asteroids out yet?
No, but I looked at it like that looks fancy. You get a spread gun attack on it. Like that's brilliant for Asteroids. I thought you peaked on the N64 version.
You really like that version, don't you?
On the N64?
Yeah,
it's fun as hell. It's fun as hell. Give it a good rating in an upcoming guidebook. So that's the point. That's what their business should be.
December 14th is when that comes out.
All right.
Yeah, I'll probably play that.
I'll pick it up.
Yeah,
Asteroids is one of my favorite OG games. I love the vector graphics style. I love everything on it. Anyway, so the point is that I'm fucking scared that they're going to shut down MobyGames. I'm just scared.
Yeah, no, me too. I think we all are, and we all should be a little nervous about what the fuck's going to happen.
So hopefully someone backs up the site and like fucking mirrors it at some point or continues on it. Like that would be great. But they're also going to invest in Antstream. Not buy. They're making an investment and be a partner because Antstream was a streaming service that we talked about out of Europe where, you pay a monthly, it's like a Netflix sort of style where you can play games, from the cloud. And that's interesting because they were on the Atari VCS that came out. That was one of the things you could have purchased as an app to play. So that kind of makes more sense to get into that. But, I guess we'll see if that's going to help Antstream. But they're going to buying MobyGames for $1.5 million. That's going to be that's what's scarier.
Yeah.
So, you know what's also scary?
I don't have anything clever to say here. The Amico is now in formal production.
That's the claim, right?
That's the claim.
So this email was sent out. When was this email sent? The timing was suspect. Tuesday the 23rd.
It was suspect. And why was it? It was like right after I think it was right after Analog said that everything was, it was coming out on time. That's it.
Right when Analog dropped a bomb on us and said, hey, guess what? This Analog will be shipping, December 13th is when it's shipping?
Yeah.
Analog Pocket. Right after that, I guess, good old Tommy Talarico was like, you know what? I can't be the only company in town not coming out with a console since all the rest are shipping at some point or are on a cargo container ready to be unloaded like the Evercade VS. Like, I guess Tommy had to say, you know what? This is what they're saying. Saving the best for last. News for last. The entire team at Intellivision is excited to announce that we've completed our pre-production and started our formal production of Amico consoles. We are focusing on our initial launch units that will ship to our first customers as soon as possible. We hope to have more accurate shipping information by the end of the year.
So two things. One, obviously, that's a not so clever, basically confirmation that you're not getting this by Christmas.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Yeah, but he's never come out and said that's not happening. By cleverly wording it to, we'll have more shipping information by the end of the year, that's clearly saying, stop thinking about Christmas. But there are people on the Atari age that are still insisting that they're going to get it by Christmas.
Well,
they believe in Tommy.
They can be there crying on Christmas morning.
Terrence Telemanca.
So this is what's so funny about this. This is another splicing of words. This isn't like they're already on a production line somewhere in China putting together these consoles.
No, they're not being manufactured. The production, I guess, does not mean manufacturing in this instance.
Production probably means we're starting to accrue the parts to eventually put this thing together.
Right.
We're starting to maybe get the parts made to put this thing together. That does not mean that they are ready to slap these consoles together on a production line.
I saw someone state, and it was funny, but it made me think of it. What if it's like the Halcyon? What if they mean like they're just like, what if production to them means they're making boxes and it's like the Halcyon where there's like a warehouse full of fucking boxes for a system there's 10 units of?
We didn't talk about how Tommy showed off how ridiculous he showed off. Oh, here's the Amico AC adapter with with the printed logo on it. Like that could be meaning, wow, they're getting AC adapters made. It's in production officially. Like that's what it could mean. And what's so telling is, again, the timing. It was right after, like a day after, I believe, Analog said,
hey, this is coming out, shipping. So the three things that we were all looking forward to in December: the Playdate, the Analog Pocket, and the Steam Deck were either delayed or confirmed. So that left, I mean, if you want, if you
Playdate was going to come out, but it had bad batteries.
Well, right. Yeah. But I'm just saying they were delayed it was confirmed for December, which meant that of all the projects that have any sort of name behind them at this point, there was only one that still needed to tell people what the fuck was going on.
Sure.
And it was Amico. So they obviously, I think, felt some fire.
But something tells me the Steam Deck's definitely coming out. Something tells me that.
Oh, no, I didn't say it's not. I'm just saying
that's a difference.
Oh, yeah.
Steam Deck's going to come out, hell or high water.
Right. But, if you pretend that all things are equal, it was still time for the Amico to make a statement.
Sure. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because they're going to say at the end of the year that they're going to say, this is what is going to happen. They're going to say Q1, maybe, which gives you until March 31st or 30th. March, whatever the last day of March is, it gives you 90 more days. And it's like, then they'll probably say, all right, we'll have a new update in Q1.
They can't possibly hold on to this. This is what after this year.
This is what we need.
This is such a slow device.
As much as we gave Atari shit for the VCS, they went
pictures on.
They went over to China and showed the workers putting the fucking things together.
Yeah.
They went overboard in sharing with, like, here's the micrometer we're using to see the casings off. That was too much information.
They overdid it. But yes.
I appreciate them going that direction versus this. That was transparency, Tommy. This is not transparent. Atari was transparent. They showed them on a pallet, taped up, ready to get shipped over. And still people were questioning it because at that point it was delayed forever. But that's the evidence we need that it's in manufacturing. I want to see people putting together in China on a line. I want that. Then I'll say it's in production. Double production.
Production.
And what's even more telling,
double plus production.
This isn't a full topic, but God, I could have made it one. The poor Republic investors, they don't know about the physical products, Tommy. They also don't know that it's in production. There has been an update to them in 2 months. September 30th was the last update. To the poor investors. I give you millions of dollars, and they can't get it. They can't get an update from the CEO. How sad is that?
We still ask like naive things like, "Oh, can we expect to see returns on our shares
when we start getting money back on our investment?" Yeah,
you don't. Ever.
Well, they might at some point, but not for the physical products. And no one ever said I was wrong about that, by the way, which means I guess we were right about that, physical products.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of those things where, like, if that was not true,
we would have said that.
Tommy would have been very clear about that. Yeah. Because I feel like that's
they would have said, like, oh, you're messing with the SEC now, like those threats, and it's like, we didn't hear anything about that. Yeah. So we had that fucking nailed when it comes to that.
Just real quick, Astro Smash was Astro Smash. That's literally all I have to say about Astro Smash. It was the same game we've been seeing. They did another deep dive.
And another 10-minute game. There's 10 levels.
10 levels.
There's 10 levels.
That just seems like the cutoff for Tommy. 10. Because 10 in skiing, 10 in Astro Smash, like Move 18 Patrol. Overhead levels.
Maybe Move Patrol, maybe you get 20 in Move Patrol. I don't know.
Yeah.